That's Mrs. Evans to you, young man.
In 1989, Gary Coleman walked into a courtroom to sue his own parents for stealing his fortune. He'd made over $18 million as America's most beloved child star. When the verdict came in, he was awarded just $1.3 million. The rest, gone, vanished into the pockets of the very people who were supposed to protect him. But this was just the beginning of a downward spiral that would end with one of television's brightest stars dying nearly penniless. His body found at the bottom of a staircase, his bank account empty, and his legacy reduced to a cautionary tale that Hollywood still whispers about today. Gary Coleman burst onto television screens in 1978 as Arnold Jackson in Diff'rent Strokes, and America fell instantly in love. His timing was impeccable, his smile infectious, and his catchphrase, "What you talkin' about, Willis?" became embedded in pop culture forever. At just 10 years old, he wasn't just a child actor. He was the child actor, pulling in $70,000 per episode at the show's peak. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to about $200,000 per episode in today's money. The show ran for 8 seasons. Coleman was working constantly, doing commercials, making appearances, signing merchandise deals. The money was pouring in faster than anyone could count it. But here's where the nightmare begins. While Gary was on set memorizing lines and charming audiences, his parents and management team were busy making decisions about his money. Decisions he had no control over. Decisions he wasn't even aware of. Under California law at the time, 15% of a child actor's earnings had to be set aside in a block trust, untouchable until they turned 18. The other 85%? Fair game. And Gary's parents and advisors played that game very, very well. They established a corporation, purchased properties, made investments, and paid themselves handsomely for managing their son's career. All perfectly legal. All absolutely devastating. When Diff'rent Strokes ended in 1986, Gary Coleman was 18 years old and ready to access the fortune he'd spent his childhood earning. Except there was a problem. The fortune wasn't there. What should have been $18 million had shrunk to a fraction of that amount. Buildings had been purchased in his name but mortgaged heavily. Investments had failed. Management fees had been excessive. His parents had been living off his earnings for years, justifying it as compensation for dedicating their lives to his career. Gary was furious. He was betrayed. And in 1989, he did something that most exploited child stars never do. He fought back. The lawsuit was brutal and public. Gary accused his parents and his former manager of taking advantage of him, of misappropriating funds, of placing their own interests above his. The details that emerged in court were staggering. Money had been spent on luxury items, on real estate deals that benefited everyone but Gary, on legal fees to protect the very people who were stealing from him. When the dust settled, the court awarded Gary $1.3 million. A victory, technically, but also a devastating loss. His parents claimed they were hurt by his accusations. His former manager maintained everything was above board. And Gary, he was left with a tiny fraction of what he'd earned, a family torn apart, and the crushing realization that his childhood had been sold for profit. But the financial devastation was only beginning. The legal fees from that first lawsuit were enormous. Then came more lawsuits. Disputes over residuals. Battles over image rights. Conflicts with former business partners. Gary sued. Gary got sued. The cycle never stopped. Every legal victory came with costs that ate away at whatever money he managed to hold onto. And the work wasn't coming in like it used to. Hollywood had moved on. The cute kid from Diff'rent Strokes was now an adult with a complicated reputation and a body that had stopped growing due to a congenital kidney disease. Roles dried up. Opportunities vanished. By 1999, Gary Coleman filed for bankruptcy. The same person who had once been worth millions was now officially broke. He took whatever work he could find, including a job as a security guard in a shopping mall. Can you imagine? One of the most recognizable faces in television history. Checking bags and patrolling food courts for minimum wage. He tried reality TV. He ran for governor of California as a publicity stunt. He did autograph signings and convention appearances. Anything to make ends meet. The desperation was visible, and it was heartbreaking. On May 28, 2010, Gary Coleman fell down the stairs in his Utah home. He hit his head, suffered a brain hemorrhage, and died 2 days later at the age of 42. When his estate was evaluated, it was worth less than $75,000, with debts that exceeded even that small amount. There wasn't even enough money to avoid a legal battle over his remains. His ex-wife and former girlfriend fought in court over who had the right to make decisions about his body. Even in death, Gary Coleman couldn't escape the lawyers and the fighting. From $18 million to $75,000. From the top of Hollywood to the bottom of the stairs. This is what exploitation looks like. If this story bothers you, good. Hit subscribe and share this video. These stories need to be told.